So I'd like to talk just for a moment or two about the difference between a fact and an opinion, and why it matters to us as humans that we can spot the difference between the two. So while we're sitting here nice and calm in a wonderfully rational headspace, as I'm sure you probably are, it's plain as day what the difference is. A fact is something that is externally verifiable. Other people can come along and assess it, and everyone will agree that it's a particular thing. It is accurate, factually accurate, and can be measured and assessed to ensure that that is the case. An opinion, however, is a thought about something or someone that belongs to an individual or a group of individuals. It's not a fact. And herein lies the challenge for us, and it's all down to the way that we experience the world around us and some of those very helpful shortcuts that the computer has got in place for us, because sometimes we, in our internal world, can muddle them up. And here's why. Because our brain has put in a huge amount of effort, huge amount of time and huge amount of effort into learning what it considers to be truths about the world around it, about itself and how it fits into the world around it, and about things like what it can expect, what's right, what's wrong, what other people should be doing, what I should be doing, and so on and so on. The challenge here is that once all of that information has been acquired, it's embedded into the computer as if it is true. And of course, if we consider something to be true, we treat it as if it's a fact. When in fact, the truth of the matter is that is our opinion or perspective or understanding of the thing, not a fact. That's not how the computer works. After all, once it's put in all that effort, it needs to be able to think that the information it's got stowed away is reliable, because after all, it's the reliability of the information that then allows this very powerful part of the brain to create things like the algorithms that allow us to get through our day, if this, then that. Also, all the habits and the shortcut loops and all that other amazing stuff can only operate if it's safe in the knowledge that what it believes to be the case is the case. To add to the complexity, because in our experience there's actually so much data on a day-to-day basis coming into the brain in every moment that it's actually too much for us to process in real time, our brain actually does an edit before we're even aware of it, of the information that we are actually experiencing as happening around us. We don't see the things that happen around us as a video camera would. We see edited highlights. And these edited highlights, you guessed it, are based on what the brain expects to be there. What it expects to be seeing, what it expects to be hearing, what it expects to be experiencing. If it's expecting good stuff, then that's likely what we'll see. But if it's expecting bad stuff, well, we might see more of that. If it's surprised, it's going to experience that in a way that may or may not be pleasant. If it's a good surprise, then yes, it's probably going to be enjoyable. But if it's about being let down or disappointed or not having our expectations met, there's where we can start to feel more emotionally charged about a situation, because it's not doing what it should be doing. And factually, it should be doing this, that, or the next thing. So we have every right to be annoyed, we think, not necessarily factually true. So there's the challenge for each and every one of us. We experience every moment of every day through a lens of correctness. Our correctness. That the way we see things, the way we experience things, the way we interpret things must be right. Because after all, why on earth would we be carrying around information that's wrong? It's almost inconceivable to us in that moment. And indeed, being wrong for a human being is quite a challenging place to be. Being in error is for many, many people quite a challenging place to be. Not everyone. Some people have a really great relationship with error. But the vast majority of us find being in error, you guessed it, threatening. What does that mean about us, about our competencies, about our understanding, about any other thing for that matter? Very often we interpret that as being not great. And so, you guessed it, into the picture comes the limbic system, the chimp riding to our defense, and we will defend our opinion, our facts, our truths with great vigor. And then we seem almost surprised that other people might do the same, because surely they must be wrong and we must be right. Of course, here we enter the world of the complexity of human dynamics. Every single one of us is operating from our own unique bubble, where we perceive the world in a particular way, where we believe that way to be true. Every single one of us is likely to defend that truth with equal enthusiasm. Some of us quite vigorously, some of us by running away and simply not getting involved. That's not necessarily going to stop us thinking we were right. And here we can end up with gulfs in understanding, in communication, because we don't just stop at thinking, oh, that person thinks something different to me, I'm right, they're wrong. Oh no, we layer that up. We then start to think that must mean something about them, something about their knowledge, their experience, their competency, especially if we're at work. Worse than that, we might clump them together with other people who are like them and start drawing conclusions about whole entire departments or whole entire organizations. All because, from time to time, the brain finds it very hard to tell the difference between a fact and an opinion. One of the most wonderful ways forward for each and every one of us is learning to spot when perhaps that might be happening, learning to pause and ask, could it possibly be the case that this is my viewpoint and not perhaps the fact I am treating it as, and what might it mean if that were true?